Good morning, party people. My name is JP. We'll be doing the Syncfrog Expert Hour today. Sorry for the late start. I had to put Mr. PJ Leaper himself into a box to get shipped, so I'm sure he's quite concerned now that all the lights are out. So, today we are going to be talking about using the giant sheet of names that you guys have seen me use before and we've used so many times. And I'm going to again sync this to Salesforce. However, I'm going to have actually let's not do that. Let's do something else today. Let's use some SurveyMonkey stuff. So let's go to design survey. So we have our MPS survey here. Which is our 1 out of 10, 1 being good, bad, and 10 being good, and what could we do better, if anything. So we're going to use Salesforce today, and I'm going to set up a custom object to house the results. So we're going to click on Setup, and I'm going to click on Create, and I'm going to click on Objects, and I'm going to create a new custom object. And I'm going to call this one MPS 9/30. And MPS scores. I'm doing that for a reason. And we have our data type, and I'm going to allow reports, obviously, because I want to be able to report on it. And I'm going to allow activities and track the field history as well. I am using the developer version of Salesforce, so I do have a couple other things that are not available just as of yet. And we have our deployment status of deployed. And we're going to click on save. So that's going to bring us to our custom object details, right? So we have no field or relationship. I'm going to create a new field and or relationship. And I'm going to create this MPS score tied to our contact. So I'm going to use actually a lookup relationship, right? So I'm going to say lookup relationship. And like I said, we're going to have to choose what it's related to. Well, like I said, we want it related to a contact, right? And we will click on next. And bring us our field label. Easy way to fill that. Click there, and there we go. Set all of our information and click on next. Make sure it is visible to the profiles that it is supposed to be visible to. And our page layout, we're just going to use the default layout. So we'll click on next and make sure that all of our layouts there. Now we're going to click on save and new. Now I'm going to build a field for our MPS score to go into it. So I'm going to use our actual number fields, right? Since I am using a 1 out of 10, I want to pass the actual number over. So I'm going to use number, and we'll put score, right? And the length is only got to be 2 because it's only maximum is 10. So no decimal places, field name score, any formulas that we want to run off of it, we can. And we'll click on next. Again, click on next and save and new.
Yeah.
Now we also want to quickly be able to see if this person was a passive detractor or a promoter for MPS type score. So we're going to use actually a text, but this could be a pick list as well. Or
as long as you can.
But today, or even a checkbox, right? But that would have to do a value for each one of the checkboxes. So I'm just going to use text because it's just going to pass over the text force for passive, promoter, or detractor. So we'll click on text next and score name. Right, so we'll have our actual score and then our score name and give it a length of 20 characters. Click on next. Next. Save and new because we have to put this a comment field, right? So I'm going to use a text. This time we're going to do text area long. And you'll notice that there is more characters currently on the developer account. This will be pushed in the winter release. So there we go. Click on next. And comments. Right. And we'll set our length. I think SurveyMonkey allows for 64,000 characters inside of this. I'll just keep the
Clicktools one of the least travel ones for me anyway.
So I'll do 64,000 in there. And we'll click on next, and save. All right, so we have our 4 fields. We have our contact, which is going to look up our contact that we send out to inside of SurveyMonkey. We have our comments field. We have a score and a score name. Cool. So actually, let's not use SurveyMonkey to send this out. Well, let's use Salesforce. So what we can do is inside of SurveyMonkey here, I'm going to get the web link for this. So I'm going to click on collect responses. And I'm going to say new collector, and I'm going to say web link collector, right? So here's our survey link, right? And I'm going to copy that, right? So we have our link. And what I usually do is I click on new. I use Notepad, right? So I'm going to put that inside a Notepad. So I have that information saved, and let's drag it off the screen. And like I said, I'm going to use Salesforce to send this out. So I'm going to click on email here. And I'm going to say my templates. I'm going to create a new template. And it's just going to be a text template today. And we will say a moment of your time. And MPS, what is it, 9/30. And we'll just click on there and make sure you check that box that says available for use. Excellent. So you can see that we have merge field variables. We are going to use this to automatically provide our contact ID into the application. So it's going to say hello, and then we'll use our contact fields, right? And we want their first name. So again, first name. And there is our merge field variable that's automatically going to grab the contact's first name. Could you please take this survey letting us know how you like our product?
Sure.
And the reason why, all right, so we will grab that SurveyMonkey web link, right? And I'm going to copy that and that URL here there. Now you're saying, well, you said contact ID, right? So we need to get the contact ID so we know who's taking the survey. So SurveyMonkey has a annotation that you can use to write directly to the custom data field. And it's actually right here, pre-populating a SurveyMonkey URL with a Salesforce ID. So this actually came from us for a question. And SurveyMonkey actually does have that. It is this little switch right here. Question mark C equals, and then you put your merge field variable. So we're going to copy that. And I'm going to put it at the end of our template here. So that's going to write to our custom data field. And I want this to be tied to the contacts. So in our merge fields, once again, we're going to see our contact fields. In our select field here, we should have one that says contact ID. Awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that merge field variable and paste it at the end. Awesome. Okay. So what this is going to, since I'm just using a pure text version, this could be hidden behind a vanity link that says click here or something along those lines. There's no real difference to it. So we'll click on save.
You changed the letter.
This is what our email template looks like. Now, what we want to do is say send test and verify merge fields. So that's going to bring us up asking our contact. Well, I'm going to put my name in.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we should be able to find me.
Yeah, that's
right
just
there.
kind of why I gave myself a
And I'm going to get a preview email sent to me, and we'll click on OK.
Steps it goes through, so.
All right. So what that's going to do is say hello, JP, and there's our SurveyMonkey survey with our contact ID. So we'll go to that contact here. So if I click on contact, another tab, and quick way to do it is that value in there, hit enter. So there is me, and you can see that it was sent out to it. So we should have our MPS scores. There it is. That's the new object that we've created. All right. So we have our SurveyMonkey survey URL and our merge field variable. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and you can see we have our information here. So I'm going to say 9, and we could have started the session sooner, but I was detained putting PJ in the box. True story. And we will click on done, right? So that gives us our information. Now I am using a free version of SurveyMonkey to do this, and we have that information over. Cool. So now that I have a result inside of SurveyMonkey, you can see inside of our analyze results, we have our individual response, right? So this is our web link, and you can see that our custom data field has our account ID. And there's my IP address and all that good jazz. So let's go ahead and map that over. So I'm going to use Syncfrog for this. And remember, we are going to be putting this in our custom object right here. So we're going to create a new data leap.
I'm used to it.
And our source app is going to be SurveyMonkey.
Like I said,
and our target's going to be Salesforce.
It doesn't bother me or anything. It's just, yeah, it's one of those.
Set our credentials.
What should I give myself a score on this? But yeah.
And select our survey. So we should have our MPS survey. And it's going to ask us what collector we used. And obviously, I've used this before, so I'm going to use just the web link version. And our collection method of all responses or new responses, I'm going to set this to new because it's never been synced before. So it's going to do all historical plus any new ones every time this syncs over. So we'll click on new responses and click on next. It's going to ask what credentials we're using for Salesforce. Again, I'm using dev, so that's my dev login. And our title, so MPS mapping 9/30. Cool. And we'll click on create and OK, take me to the mapping. All right, and it's just going to take us a little bit second longer to get that over. All right.
Yeah, it's the 20,
so inside of our Salesforce types, we have all of our basic types, and you'll notice that it's not in alphabetical order, but in group, then alphabetized. So we have our basic types, and since we're putting this in a custom object, it's not a basic, and it wouldn't be in the advanced types. It's actually going to be down here at the bottom with our custom types. So we have our MPS 30 _ C, right? So that's our custom object. We're going to click on Add New Section. Okay, so that's going to bring us to our mapping screen here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
what do we want to do? Do we want to create a new record in our
what
MPS?
it'll
Do we
be
want to
is,
find existing MPS?
like
Do
I
we want to
told
update existing or create
to
new?
try to request it
What do you
one
want
day
us to do?
before I can confirm
I
that
am going to be using
got
the
my mom
create new
on that
record
house.
so I can see a historical every time that person
Switch
gets
I've
it.
got a friend
That
who's
way I
on
can
Watch
run
It.
formulas and all good
Couple
sorts of good
days
jazz
a
off
week,
of that.
we let him know.
And that way I can get an overall score for this
Shake
particular
trap and
customer.
everything. So, yeah, I'll
You can do that with some
definitely
Salesforce functionality of
give
doing
you
formulas.
thumbs up, but
So
yeah,
it
thanks for,
summarizes
thanks for all
the actual score.
the offer of
So we'll
assistance
click
and
on
everything.
create new record. We also can set
Unfortunately,
a
just kinda
error
something I
reporting
gotta do,
for this
you know?
particular record. What do you want us to do if there is an error? Do you want us to stop completely, skip the section and continue, skip the line item,
Yeah,
which would be
definitely. Have a
this
good day,
particular
Alex.
survey result, and continue?
Cheers. Cheers.
I'm going to use the stop processing completely today. A lot of times you can use the skip the source item and continue. Depends on your use case. All right, so let's go ahead and map that information over. We'll click on Map New Field, and we have our SurveyMonkey questions, right? So there's our two, and you'll see that so we have our big long list here. So like I said, we used that little annotation to provide us the contact ID to the custom data field. So I'm going to use this custom data because remember, we can see it in our analyzer here, our custom data, and that is our Salesforce ID. And that's going to go to our contact reference field because the contact reference wants the ID value, not the actual person's name. So that's the ID value to ID, and we will map our other fields. So we have how likely is would you recommend, 1 being bad, 10 being good, and that's going to go to our score double, right? Because that's our type there. So we have our score double, and that'll provide the actual number value. Now I want to map over the actual text, right? So I want Syncfrog to actually provide the text for us for the score name field. So inside of score name, we're going to set our fixed values to provide that over for us. So in our fixed value, we are going to say promoter, right? So Promoter. O-R-E-R, promoter.
Huh?
O-R. That seems about right. All right, so there's a promoter. It is ER, isn't it? Ugh, terrible. Yeah, even the red squiggles came up. So we have promoter, and that's going to go to our score name. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually add a condition, right? So this is going to set our range here. So it's how likely are you going to recommend? We're going to click on add, and we're going to say greater than or equal to 9 or 10, right? So there's a value. So it's going to be 9 or 10 is going to be our range, right? So we have that. So that will automatically provide the text of promoter if somebody says 9 or 10. So you saw me answer 9, so it should come over with promoter. But we also want to do the middle section here. So we're going to again use a fixed value, and we're going to say passive, right? So we'll say passive. And that's going to go to our score name, and we're going to do condition again. This time we're going to add 2. So we'll do equal to 8. And I'm going to add another one. And this is the first one you'll see. It says equal to 8 or equal to 7, right? And our logic here is going to be or, because we want 7 or 8. You can use and conditions in other ones, or even if you had to do a mix of it for certain logic. So there we go. That's going to provide the word passive with the condition of equal to 8 or 7. And we're going to say detractor for our last part here, detractor. And that's going to go to our score name. And that's going to be, once again, question 1. We'll click on add, equal to less than or equal to 6, right? So that'll be anything less than 6. And we'll click on apply. All right. So again, that will do anything greater than 9, equal to or greater than 9. 7 or 8 will be our passive. Anything less than or equal to 6 is going to be our detractor. And we'll click on map new field. And we'll do our comments, right? So we'll do our comment, which is what could we do better, if anything. And we also will map one more field, which is, you'll see that we have NPS 9/30 name, and we will just give that a name. And this will actually give us inside of our contact instead of it showing it'll actually give it a name instead of just a normal number string of stuff. So now that we have all of that set up, so we have, to cover our mapping one more time, we have our custom data, which is being provided by our email template. And that goes to our contact, which is the ID value. Our actual score going to our score field, our text going to our text fields using fixed values and conditions. And then we have our comments going to our comments field and just a fixed value for the name. Cool. So we'll click on save and we will click on OK. So we should be good to go on that. And I'm going to scroll down my giant long list of stuff to our SurveyMonkey pictures. And there's our SurveyMonkey and 826 lead. That's not it. MPS mapping in 930. Okay, so since we've already mapped it, we want to go ahead and activate it. So we're going to click on this blue activate button. Since I am using a gold level account, I can click on run now or create a schedule. You'll have this ability if you do upgrade your Syncfrog account. And you can find more about the pricing and everything like that right off of our main page if you click on pricing, and it will give you our current pricing. All accounts are created as a basic and goes from there. Okay, so I'm going to click on run now, and that is going to grab our information. So it's going to grab our SurveyMonkey data. Should get one record processed. And at the end here, we have our lead information. Now we can see that it ran manually. It only processed one record because we only had one record. It did finish it. And it was a success because you can see it says successes. You can actually download this to Google Sheets and keep a historical record of all the things it's done. You can also click on view log details, and this will actually give you a row by row thing that it did. So it did a create. There's our target, and there's our actually ID value of the record. So now if I go back to this contact and I refresh it, since we did use the ID value, I know it's going to come back to this particular one. You can see that we have MPS scores, right? And there's our MPS score that we've created. If I go ahead and click on that, you see that our contact's here, my actual scores here, my score name came across because I am a promoter, as it came across as a 9, so our fixed value did work, and our comments. Awesome. Pretty quick and easy mapping to set up an MPS. Now, a lot of people will not create this as a custom object, but just put it on the contact record. You can absolutely do that. It's the same process. I just decided to put it in a custom object. Now you can use this email template for a campaign or anything along those lines, or send it up one off as is, or even do a mass email, as long as you have the ID value getting populated by that merge field and have that little switch right there, that question mark C equals. This exact use case will work just fine. All right, and that covers it for today. Thanks for attending, and you have a great day.